is coming to learn and to observe our classes. What are you waiting for?
I'm impressed with how lively and beautiful the atmosphere is. The building is really very nice and light. The kids are really enjoying themselves. The teachers are quite lively and invested in the kids, and it was really nice to have us welcome here and to be able to learn and observe. Thank you. We were going to be learning more about this in our next set of classes, but parents do play a role with regard to their involvement and how they encourage kids both before they get to school and then afterwards. And much of the work that's also done with parents that we know is important has to do with how much they encourage their kids, the way they encourage their kids, and how they do invest their time and energy in making sure kids get a good education. So education, we know, is really important. We know that parents' involvement with that throughout a lot of different studies around the world indicates that parents' investment makes a big difference.
If we involve parents in teaching,
yes, that's
they will have
easier.
more reasonable expectation.
Exactly.
If we just separate parents and education, then they never experience what teachers go through every day.
Experience like I've taught in the US and I've taught here, and the parents here take very much seriously, even more so, the education for their children than any culture I've seen before.
I've noticed that there's a great emphasis on music, and for me that would be very important for me to identify patterns and develop my memory skills, so I found that very interesting and useful.
And looking at Piaget did say that kids learn a lot through physical interactions and physical materials, so a lot of the materials are physical.
My favorite lesson for the children was when they were reading out the nursery rhyme. It really surprised me how well the kids were able to read at that stage.
This and other kids men couldn't put their head together again.
Who wants to try?
Learning about how children respond to positive reinforcement was really wonderful to see in person, and how the kids get so happy when they're proud of themselves and when their teachers and peers are proud of them too.
Where is Wednesday? Wow, good job, Chloe. Come here. Good job.
What has impressed me the most is definitely their ability to speak English, because when I was in the kindergarten, I can't even in English, I can't even say the dates. But kids in this kindergarten, they can say the date of the day, and they can also even there's some really complicated words like the animals, like reptiles or something. So that is absolutely what has most impressed me.
Alright guys, so as we can see, reptiles have scales. Reptiles lay eggs.
The most challenging thing about being a teacher is the ability to be patient with the children and understand that they have a different way of understanding and learning things, and just learning to work with that, and that every child is different and accommodating to the different child's needs.
I think the most important is patience, and realizing that love and patience is really, really important to the kids.
Say that this kindergarten is very effective in terms of how they emphasize effort amongst the kids. So even if the kid made a mistake, they're very encouraging still. It's also very individualized to each and every student. This kindergarten is really amazing, impressive, and very organized in terms of how structured the curriculum is. And that plays a role into how the kids learn more in school and also outside of the classroom.
Open your eyes. What's missing? Oh, who said that? Parrot. Yes. Parrot.
When I first
got up in front of the children, I felt pretty anxious because I didn't know if they were gonna take me as a symbol of authority, and I didn't know if they were gonna do what I was telling them to do. So, but they ended up doing, so that felt pretty good.
I love children, so I was very eager to try myself as a teacher. And I was very surprised to see children being very engaging, responsive, and active. Some of them were guessing what I was gonna do even before I was doing that, so felt really good. And I didn't expect children at this age to be that smart and that knowledgeable.
One thing that I noticed was that even throughout the different years, similar content was incorporated so that it felt like they weren't just jumping from one class to the next, they were continuing an education that you can tell is going to go across their lifetime instead of in blocks.
Reptiles, mammals, and birds. Our next one is...
The differences I noticed at the beginning, like the kids from 2 to 3 years, they were mainly did some numbers or small words, but then when it comes to older children, let's say 4 years, it seems like they can already read sentences and form sort of a story.
We're very adamant about English in the morning, and then you have to use verbal and non-verbal communication for them to understand you.
The secret of teaching is actually relationships.
I like to always find out what my parents want. That's the most important thing, because every parent is going to want something very different.
For me, it's always about getting down on their level, literally getting down on your knees so your eyes